So zont1x, one of the key players of one of the most incredible teams that we had in 2024, actually one of the major champions right now. So welcome. And first of all, I'd like to ask you, how's the team spirit going? How are you? I mean, last championship in this event as well, and how you see 2025 going to you?
Yeah, so we were getting in shape after we get like 10 days off after fall final, last fall final. So we had 10 day off, and then we played Singapore and major, and we were getting in shape and playing better and better, and in the end we won the major. Yeah, we're confident about our performance, about individual performance as well, and we just have to see how we'll play against the best teams here, for example. So we have a chance to play against Vitality, G2, Navi here, so we'll just see how it goes, but we are pretty confident.
I mean, just looking back at the first series you played in this tournament, you had 2 series played, 4 maps played in total, where you pretty much dominated in all 4 of them. You played against FlyQuest, you played against Fnatic, but now you're playing, at least theoretically, against harder teams. So, are you confident you're going to be able to take this championship all the way in?
I don't know, like I don't have certain expectations, but after you win the major, you're obviously very confident about how you'll play, and I don't think we should have any problems with the new teams. For example, you shouldn't have any problems against teams like that after you win the major.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's more about your shape after you haven't been playing for 2 weeks because of the new year. Yeah. So you just have to see how you'll perform.
I mean, just looking at this Blast Bounty and this new format overall, where the lower seeded teams pick the top seeded teams, which you were one of the top seeded teams, does that give you a theoretical advantage? I mean, because being one of the best teams in the world, being the major champions, you're actually one of the teams that the other teams don't want to pick, if that makes sense. So do you think that gives you an advantage beforehand, before the game?
I think actually underdogs want to pick us, but for some reason it just doesn't happen. I think because of the best of 3. But if you open the statistics, you can see that we lose a lot to tier 2 teams, to underdogs, and the same I think happens for Vitality. I think they have been losing a lot to underdogs as well. I think underdogs should pick us, but it just doesn't happen. But okay, but still, I think it's more about how we play, how we understand our game, individual shape, and that's it. Because you shouldn't have any problems against the teams that just built their roster for like 2 weeks ago. For example, Heroic.
Yeah, that's true.
They just have a new roster. It doesn't make sense if you're going to lose to them in best of 3.
Now, coming into this final stage, you're actually still one of the top seeded teams. You're seed 4 right now, which means that you're still getting picked by other teams to play next in the quarterfinals. Is there any team from the 4 that will be choosing teams to play? Is there any team you'd like to face in particular?
I think I would like to play against a team that hasn't changed their players, because you can know better how they play, and you can prepare better to them. So I don't know, there is like advantage to play against Heroic, for example, because they have changed their players and they're not ready to perform their best. But in the other hand, you have the other team that you can prepare for better because you know how they play, but they will perform better because they haven't changed the player, and they're playing together for 6 months, for example. So there is no team in particular, but I think we should win any of them.
Okay, but you think it could happen like a surprise if you play against a team like Heroic, which has made a lot of changes, at least way more surprises than it could happen with a team that is more that is together for quite some time, right?
I think probably yes. For some reason, underdogs just doesn't want to pick us, but I think this is not right. I think they should pick us because of the statistic we had against underdogs, but I don't know, we'll see. I think Heroic should pick us, but we'll see. I don't know.
I mean, it's a good sign for you. It's a good sign for you that teams are not picking you because they know how hard it is to play against you guys. So that's at least something to smile about, at least on your side. Now, We know about the new ecosystem due to Valve ruling. We know about this Blast Bounty, these new formats. How do you feel overall about the changes that CS is going through right now in 2025 and for the next years?
I think there is too much championships, to be honest, even though Spirit has played less of them in previous year, for example, because we were skipping a lot of them. We had a lot of time to chill between the championships, and I think this is pretty much a better system for a team, because you just can't play six championships in a row like Navi did, for example. I think this is why Navi performed that bad on the major and in Singapore, because they were playing too much. They're just tired. So I don't think this is how teams should work, should function. And I think this is too much championships in 2025. And from what I know, teams will just dodge many of them to not getting exhausted and be ready to some way more important championships like major, like Cologne, for example.
Is that something you're talking about amongst your team and your management, like missing a few tournaments, maybe declining a few invitations to focus on the ones you think are the most important?
Yeah, and I think even though many of the teams have not really think about this in previous year, I think they will definitely think about it right now, because there's even more championships, and you just have to skip some of them to not get exhausted.
Okay, so maybe we can expect to see Spirit maybe miss a few big events, like Phase is missing ESL Pro League, for example.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure, and I will not talk about that.
I understand. We'll see. It's okay. So, just to close this interview, of course, the Portuguese audience is getting ready for another Tier 1 event in Portugal, but in March. We have Blast Open, and everyone is hoping to see Spirit in action here in Lisbon. So, can we expect to see Spirit in full force here?
Yeah, I think this is going to be enough time to get for us in shape. We'll have this championship, we'll have Katowice, and yeah, I think so.
Awesome. And would you like to leave a message to all the Portuguese fans that watch your games and support you?
I'm just happy to see Brazilian teams and Portuguese players perform better, because I think Furia is playing way better than they did before. So I'm just glad that there is more teams from the other side of the world that are playing good Counter-Strike.
Awesome. So, zont1x, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for your time, and good luck in the remaining of the tournament.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, man.